So I'm with Jack Austin, season 28 of The Voice. Team Now, Team Buble, really interesting journey. How has the journey been, I guess, thus far as far as the competition goes? What has it been the first like several rounds like been for you upon reflection?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that it's been a wild ride full of a lot of different emotions, from getting to sing with Nile at my blind audition to being stolen at the last second by Michael Bublé. It's been a lot of different emotions, but if anything, I've just been so grateful for this journey so far.
You did a great job with this town on your rendition. You're talking about keeping it together. How were you able to keep it together on stage with Niall on stage performing his song? That must have been surreal. And how did you keep it locked in?
Yeah, I mean, it was so surreal. I felt out of body, but thankfully I've had, a lot of experience on stage. I grew up in the theater and I've been performing my whole life. So, like everything that I've worked for before The Voice came in clutch right there. I was like, this is the biggest moment of my life. You have to reel it in, but at the same time, I was allowing myself to have fun, like when do you get a chance to do this? I was reminding myself that, this is what I want to do and to have fun too. And that
I
helped.
I think one of my highlights this season is your just your battles with Deck of Hearts. I thought it was really well done. Is your stage experience, is that did that help you not feel intimidated? You actually felt like, I forgot who said, you felt like the lead singer of a band as opposed to someone who's going to shrink in. Did all of those years of experience help with the battles?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, like I said, I grew up on the theatrical stage. I'm used to sharing a stage with dozens and dozens of other performers, and I was so proud of that performance. It was such a privilege and blessing to work with Deck of Hearts. They were such amazing battle partners and so talented. And, it reminded me of being on stage theatrical because they had all those harmonies and we were doing these tight, harmonies for this rendition of I Will Wait. And yeah, I mean, I really think that my experience on stage helped me in that moment. And then again, I was just having fun too. That was the most fun I've ever had on stage was that battle. It was so freaking fun.
That's amazing. I think also maybe your passion for musical theater, your lifelong passion. A lot of singers, they say sometimes the song overwhelms them. They get so caught up and they get emotional. Is actually singing and performing so many great songs from musical theater. Does that help you actually keep your emotions in check? Because you've, I'm sure, performed some of the best songs ever, and you've been able to learn how to not break down in front of an audience, you know? So.
Sure. I mean, I like to lean into the emotion, pop music is definitely different from musical theater, but I like to bring a storytelling element to whatever I'm singing. When I'm doing musicals, I'm portraying a different character, I'm stepping into their shoes. And something that's been so awesome about The Voice is that I've gotten to be Jack on stage. I've gotten to shine as me for the first time as compared to, performing as another character in a story. But I think the emotion I try to lean into, when I'm still performing it as me, I think it's something that connects with an audience. And honestly, I've been getting reception back, from my performances that people feel like they're connecting, and that's what music is about to me.
Well, what have you learned about yourself from this whole experience on The Voice? You're talking about performing as yourself. So you're actually putting a mirror to yourself while you're performing and also learning from other people. What are the most important lessons you've learned about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've always my dream was to always to perform as myself. Theater gives me a different outlet to perform, and they fulfill me in different ways. Theater to me is escapism. I get to leave my world for a bit and step into someone else's, and but my dream has always been to perform as me too. And what I've learned from this experience so far is that I'm ready for that, and I'm so driven to do both of those outlets of performing. But I've just been reminded that I have so much to offer as as me too, which I think I've lost a little bit, doing theater for so many years and that kind of being my main focus for a bit. Now I'm finding a way to balance both because I feel so fulfilled getting different things from each one of those. So I would just say I've never felt more ready. And I feel so that's what I've learned is that I have what it takes and I can do it. And I've worked with so many incredible people and I've learned so much just being around so many people that are so talented and from all different genres of music. It's been such a blessing.
Jack, on your package and also throughout your journey on The Voice, you've really given a lot of shout outs to Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yes.
What makes you so proud about Battle Creek, Michigan? And I was reading on AI was talking about they have a really nice, cool, walkable downtown and all that stuff. What will people see from Battle Creek, Michigan, and what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, Battle Creek is everything to me. The community has been so supportive of me, my entire career so far. And I'm still young, but they before The Voice, they've been supportive of all the musicals I've been doing, and I started my own theater company in town to give the youth a chance to do full-length productions at high level. My community means everything to me because that's where I started. I wouldn't be on the Voice stage without them, and it's my hometown. It's where my heart lives, and it's a beautiful city full of beautiful people and beautiful talent and arts that needs to be celebrated. And it's honestly just an honor in itself to represent Battle Creek in a way on the national level because I love my hometown.
United Theater Company, that must have taken a lot of work for you to put up. And what kind of joy have you received from this experience?
That experience has been the most fulfilling thing I think I've ever done. That's where I started all of this in community youth theater growing up. That's where I found my passion for this, and I wouldn't be able to be on The Voice without that experience because that's where I learned so much about myself and who I am as a performer. And I wanted to give that back to my community on a higher level too. We didn't have like extravagant sets and costumes and all that stuff. And that's what I wanted as a kid. And so I want to give that back to my community. So we're doing these full-length productions every summer for 2 weeks. It's a camp. And there's giant sets, there's backdrops flying in and out, and there's these costumes and just all of this incredible stuff that I wish I had growing up. And to be able to provide that for the next generation of artists, it means everything to me. It's my way of paying it forward, but I get fulfilled from it too. So, it's great for me too.
This could be a wrong analysis, but when people ask you, how did you get to easily over 100,000 followers on TikTok, maybe I think maybe even over 140, I think possibly one of the answers is because you're not just talking about yourself, you're celebrating music of other people and you're celebrating the art itself as opposed to celebrating yourself first. And the stuff that you do with your theater company, you're always thinking about the other person and then talking about Battle Creek, Michigan. Is that a part of who you are? And is that why probably a lot of people want to follow your journey because it's just not all about you, it's about other people and other stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love music in the performing arts because it brings people together. I don't do this for me. I do it to help others. I think there's so much to learn, from music in the performing arts. And especially something I've learned from the voice journey is that I don't I'm not in it for like the fame or anything. I don't like a bunch of attention, to be honest. I'm a pretty private person, and that's just something that comes along with, the career that I've chosen. But yeah, I hope people feel like they're just connecting with me in the music because that's what it's about, is celebrating that and bringing people together. I don't really do it for anything else. That's what fulfills me is bringing people together through music and feeling and all of that.
Speaking of music, I went on Spotify, gave Listen to Getaway, really enjoyed that. I gotta love, got listen to that, enjoyed that as well. Can you just tell our listeners about your music that you have already and the music that's right around the road for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 singles out right now that, I've cultivated over, since I was like 16 years old is when I really started writing and producing my music. And, they're little just tokens of my life over the past 5 years. And, they're really great. I offer different genres in my music and their works I'm really proud of, and I have even more that I'm working on that I really can't wait to share because I think it's my best work yet. But yeah, I think it's music with a storytelling edge, and I love the music that I have out, and I would love for anyone to listen.
Is it a double-edged sword? Your vocals and your musicianship is so diverse that you can go any different way, as opposed to a person who has a more of a one-dimensional voice. They have a clear path, but you have so many. I was just listening on TikTok to your version of Edelweiss. It was beautiful. You have a great low register. If you wanted to stay on that lane, you'd be fine. But there's so many different directions you can go. Is that kind of cool, or is it wow? I have so many choices, you know? So
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, you know. I think a skill set that I have is that I'm extremely versatile, and that's a great asset to have. But I think sometimes I find myself lost. I'm like, well, what do I really want to do? You know, where do I want to focus? Because, like I said, all of these different things fulfill me in different ways. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I love all different types of music and all different types of art. And, I do acting too and all of that. So at times I'm like, where do I really want to focus? If I don't focus on one thing, am I going to find success in all of the others? Or, so it's, I don't also at the same time, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So, that's a good question. And I don't know if I really know it yet, to be honest.
well, that's a cool thing. You have so many different options down the road, no matter what. That said, my last question is down the immediate road, without saying too much, what can people expect from just knockouts? I mean, just without saying anything, just are you just reflecting on that as far as what can people expect, a little teaser for that? And then after that, what can people expect from you down the road as far as your career goes? And thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. People are gonna have to tune in to see, what happens going forward on The Voice. But I, just continuing my career, I like I said, I have a whole bunch of different outlets. I think people should keep up with me. I think it's fun to not know really what I'm doing next, whether it comes to acting or my own music and all that. But I just am so thankful for all the experiences that have gotten me to The Voice so far and everything, that is to come. And yeah, I just hope people stick along because we have so many exciting things coming up, and I think people are going to be really excited to see what those things are.
Jack, again, thanks again so much for your time and continued success moving forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.